Well, g'day, podcast listeners from around the world. I have a very special guest with me today, and we've worked out the times to get it right because he's in another faraway land. I'm down here in Australia, as we know, and a friend of mine I haven't seen for quite a while. We converse quite a bit over social media, back and forth here and there, and today is Scott Crump. G'day, Scott.
Hey, Spinksy, thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, mate. Thanks for your time today. So, what's been going on in the world of crump of late?
Well, I'm in Hawaii. I'm in
Yep.
Hawaii for, I've been based here for about a year and a half now, a little bit over.
Hmm.
And it's nice because I can go back to Oz and I can go see my mom and stuff and go to Europe from here and everything. So, and I surf a lot, so it's good.
Yeah, that's great. You're originally from, is it the Carolinas in the
No,
States?
no, Santa Cruz,
And-
California.
Okay, so you're up from there, but you had some, didn't you live there over there on the East Coast for a while?
Yeah, we're in an area near Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina,
Right.
for about 3 years. My wife and I, who's Aussie,
Hmm.
um, and yeah, it was good times. Made a lot of surfboards over there. Super fun place to be. Just not quite enough surf.
Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah,
heading over there in October for
to
our,
the Carolinas.
yeah, to Kitty
Yeah.
Hawk out there on the
Oh
outer,
yeah, that's Outer Banks.
yeah, for
There's
our
way more waves up there.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Like, I'm not going to take a board over there because it's a bit of a struggle. I've got to go to a few other cities ahead of that. But yeah, we'll be a Kitty Hawk for our Surfline conference. So that should be some fun. I've
Oh
never
man.
ventured out that far before, so nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of surf out there. I have quite a few friends out there. I'm sure I can get a board organized for you.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds good.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just north of Kitty Hawk in an area called Avon, which is
Okay.
there's some good girls around there.
All right, mate. Well, we'll definitely continue that conversation later. But again, more of you. So
Right
you
on.
you actually on the tour there for a
Oh
while
yeah,
earlier on. Hmm.
many moons ago. Hence the gray. Yeah, I did a few years on the ASP tour, what it was then, now WSL, and then we had Joey Baran and the guys from Body Glove started a thing called the PSAA, which is essentially the Budweiser tour,
Hmm.
and that was pretty good for us because we had a lot of events. There was pretty decent money in them, and it was. I mean, I love traveling, but you could go to all these events in California, Florida. I think we went to Virginia, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and we had an event Haleiwa every year. So it was
Yeah.
a pretty cool tour, and you didn't have to spend your life savings to go on it. It was
Mm.
cool.
In saying that, I'd like to see that happen again in pretty much every major continent and
Yeah.
have that because it is so expensive for these people to actually get onto the tour. Some of them are still doing the QS, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of money, and if you don't have it, it's a hard slog. So
Well,
my
they tried to address that by separating the qualifying series from the championship series, which is the ultimate stepping stone to the world tour.
Mm,
But there's guys like I know I was reading about God, there's a couple guys in Brazil that won their qualifying tour but couldn't afford to do the challenger to get onto the big tour because there's like I think 7 events this year, and they're in like I mean you go to Brazil, you go to Bolito, and during there you go to Pipeline at the end of the year, then which is the only real event held in Waves of Consequence,
yeah.
which is kind of weird, because you got all these guys qualifying. The first events that were used to be the first event was at Pipeline, and they were coming off a beach break tour. You
Yeah.
know, that was feeding wolves to the lions right there,
Pretty
or
much.
lambs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they've done some fixing up of it since they've had some administration changes at WSL, but
Mm.
it's still the Challenger Series, which is the step. Like I think there's 80 or 90 guys on it, and only 10 or 12 qualify. Even though it's like 7 events, it's a lot of money to travel that.
Yeah, it
You know,
is. My
so
idea was having like as I said, like the continent series. So you have one in Europe. Okay, you could have a Brazil, North America, Asia, and including Australia as Asia
yeah,
Pacific,
yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
And then they all do that, and then they take the top five of each one, and then that's the tour. Bang.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
but there's a
Well,
lot of ways, but they're getting good. I like next year's little format. I still
it's a lot
prefer
better.
that. Yeah, I still prefer that Triple Crown at the end of the year, Sunset
That
Evo.
kills me.
Yeah, I know.
That
But
kills me that that's gone. I mean, I'm here in Hawaii, and like I used to shape a few boards for Sonny Garcia, and he won that thing, the Triple Crown, like 5 or 6 times, and
mm,
there's like no history of it now.
yeah.
It went on forever, and there's like I used to be former, if you won a Triple Crown, you got invited, stuff like that, and there was Haleiwa, Sunset, and Pipe. And if you did, even though Haleiwa and Sunset were qualifiers, if you did really well in them, they had to put you in Pipe because if you were running in the running for the Triple Crown,
Mm,
all gone.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know what. It's a weird one.
yeah. So into the shaping things, you just mentioned shaping boards there for Sunny. Uh,
Yeah,
geez, I hope he's all right. But we won't go into
yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah,
So you've made boards for quite a few people around the world. You shape,
yeah,
you do a bit of ghost shaping for some bigger labels as well as your
yeah.
own. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, no, I've always done that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
So just,
it's too taxing physically.
yeah, yeah.
I only do my own boards, and or I shouldn't say that. I do boards for other labels, but they have my shape thing on them. I've
Hmm.
shaped for Rusty and all these different brands before, where you just hammering them out,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. But I did enjoy like going back to those early years. I used to work with Shane Powell as well,
All right.
and he was one of my favorite surfers and a good friend, and it seemed like before there used to be this thing called the surfer shaper relationship, and we
Mhm.
always heard about it back in the day. And the surfer magazines, all of them would just, even tracks and all that would talk all about like Shane with McCoy and all these different legendary, Tom Carroll, Phil Byrne, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was evolving into that, and then it just seems like it kind of went away because a few major labels have just sort of taken over all the surfers from the world tour. They
Mm.
have the Shapers thing on the WSL, like the Shapers ratings. There's
Yep.
like 4 guys. You
Yeah.
have 32 guys and I think 16 women on the world tour, and there's like four. It's almost like NASCAR now. You know what I mean? There's only like Ford,
I get you.
Chevy.
Yeah. So you got
It's
DHC,
bizarre.
Paisel, J, yeah,
JS, of course,
JS, and
and
then Lost. Yeah,
Merritt. Yeah.
Eric.
So it's kind. I mean, that's it. When you think about it,
Mm.
the last major breakthrough I've seen come through in a surfer relationship was really just John and Paisel, because they were together from the start, from little kid, and they created, and John Paisel shaped boards for John, not just for that type of surfer, which is what goes on now. You're
Right.
like, okay, I'm a shaper. You send me your clip. I go, okay, you fit this model the best. It's not like, I'm sure Paisel and myself back in the day with those guys, I go surfing with Sonny and I go surfing with Pally and watch straight away. And like you could see little nuances. And, like for example, Shane Powell was all back foot. His front foot was like a kangaroo's arms, you know what I mean? So you had to change rocker for that type of surfer, or even footers or front foot surfers. And now it's just sort of, here's the Model A, the Model B, and the Model C. It's kind of,
Mm.
and I don't think we're going to see, I mean, obviously we're seeing great surfing,
Yeah.
but I don't think we're going to see any milestone breakthroughs until we sort of break out of this really
Yeah.
criteria. There's no like, I mean, Josh Kerr riding a twin fin on the CS right now is pretty cool.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know how he's getting judged, if it's fair or not. I haven't watched it closely enough, but it's rad to see that.
Yeah. It certainly is. And he rides quite short boards too. They're like
Yeah.
5'4", and he's into 8 to 10 foot faces on them.
Yeah. He's not scared. Yeah. He's
No, he's
slight.
not. And
He's a small guy and he rides little boards and he's got it.
oh yeah, oh yeah, his surfing is impeccable. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So into the shaping things, how's it all been going for you over there? And now is that your home base in Hawaii?
Yeah. For the next couple of years, for sure.
Yep.
My wife and I decided to make this move because, I mean, it's kind of the birthplace of surfing. I did feel like I was going a little stagnant down in the Northern Rivers just because it was raining all the time. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really evolving. I just kind of got a little stagnant, I had to plug into the wall and get some electricity going through the veins. And Hawaii's the best place to do it, Plus,
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger, and I feel like a much younger man when I'm surfing here because it's conducive, channels and warm water and reefs you can line up, and so I can still surf at a decent level, and that's good for everything from here and the shaping. And I'm working with here in Hawaii. I shape it with Richie at Richie Collins Factory, He's a
Yep.
legend from back in the day, and
Yeah.
I've known him since we were joking the other day because he's like 6'3" or something, super tall
Yeah, I
guy.
know. Tall, skinny
And
butt.
there was a bunch of us there, and he was like, Crumpy, I remember you from when you were actually taller than me, and I'm only like 5'6".
Wow.
So that's
Yeah.
when he was like 13, you know. So, and he has a little like do it all factory over in over by Sugar Mill in Wailua, which is kind of North Shore.
Yep.
And then I've just come back from a shaping trip to England. I was just, and everyone's like I'm a manager at a town and country store here in Ala Moana in Hawaii, as well as shaping. And they're like, oh, where are you going? Because I do little short shaping trips all the time. And they're all, you're going to England? I mean, they didn't even know there was waves there, you know, and there's quite an established old surfing community there. I went over there first time probably around 98 and did a bunch of boards over there for the same store. It's a surf shop called Constantine Bay Surf Shop or Surf Store. And they're still there. Des still owns it. And he had me come over and do a big batch of boards for his store.
Nice.
And I did some customs as well. But what was rad is I was shaping in a guy named Adrian's factory, Fluid Juice Surfboards. And it's in an old airfield that they built for World War II, like during the war. We're talking England, you know, they're close to Germany and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they built this airfield, and with all these, like, I guess they're like barracks, but they're built thick, like they were built to last. And I think the field was done for a year, and the Germans bombed the place. So they had like, I don't know, 40 or 50 of these large barracks, and 15 or 20 of them are like still in rubble. And then, but then you have a bunch that have guys that look like not so hot outside, but you come in and they've got them all fixed up like showrooms and builders. And my friends had this glass factory for 30 something years. And it's just like this moss covered, like it's way different than Hawaii. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
But he does epic work, and there's like a big group of rippers there, and like it's fun. Like I'd like to go back there more often.
There's plenty of waves. A good friend of mine from the UK used to be on the tour with Quicksilver, Spencer Hargraves. And,
I know.
Cornwall, when it's on, it lights up. There's plenty of great waves all around that part of the
country.
country.
He's from Newquay, which is like the Huntington of or the Surfers Paradise of that place. And that's probably I'm only maybe 15 miles north of there.
All right.
Like I get my blanks, like I do all digital designs, and they go through a CNC machine, and they get cut at Nigel Simmons, who was one of like the original pro surfers from there. Right. And he's got a nice factory in Newquay. And so we go down there, make a day trip, pick up the cuts, pull into this old like war zone factory, you know, but it's cool, man. It's England, and the people are stoked. And I mean, it was summer, so I shaped mainly twin fins, like wide. I have a wave racer model, which is like a wide swallowtail twin fin. But that was super fun. And I got to stop in Dublin on the way back, which was cool. I have a nice night in Dublin, although it was kind of weird because weird for me. I flew into Dublin from Newquay because it's a better place to catch flights because it's closer to Newquay than London. And I get my roller bag. I sold my boards, all my stuff, in my board bag. All I had was a roller bag with tools and a backpack with clothes and my toothbrush and stuff. And I get off this bus. I've done Dublin many times, in an area called the Temple Bar, which is like a big area of Dublin, which is kind of the party zone, but it's also, there's like old churches and all kinds of kind of semi-Gothic buildings around. And I come out and I'm like, whoa, it's really packed for a Thursday afternoon, you know, like 4:00. And with my roller, up the cobblestone. And I look around and it's Pride Day. And the entire Dublin was like, it was gay day in Dublin. I mean, I'm fine. I'm not homophobic or anything, but it was like, it was bizarre, man. It was just, Dublin was raging. And it was like, it was probably, I mean, looked like it was like 100% gay people, but it's probably like 25%. But it was just rolling. All the pubs had bands going, and it's like, whatever, you know, so it was fun. Yeah, the next morning I was on an early bus, and I went and saw a friend in Boston for a couple of days. And then I kind of round the world or Northern Hemisphered it. From that Boston, I went to Huntington, and I shaped at a place called Aloha Glassing, ironically. It's a factory that's been there for about 40 years in Westminster. And I did a big batch of customs there for a couple of days, and I flew home, and here I am.
Wow, that's crazy. So that's good. So
those that when I can.
Are they pre-ordered customs or just for the shop stock?
No. The only shop I really deal with is in Constantine Bay Surf Store. Right. Everything else I do is customs, and that's all generated through Instagram, Facebook, and I'm actually in the middle of setting up a new website right now because I had a brand Soul Life Surfboards for about 25 years.
Yes.
And then about 7 or 8 years ago, I just got sick of seeing the logo. 20-something years, same logo. And I got with my friend, the guy that had Santa Cruz Surf Shop, Danny and Paris Chong. Tommy Chong's son of Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
And
right.
we were brainstorming. Paris has a camp at Osu in Indonesia. And we were there. It's a nice left-hander there. And we were staying there, we were brainstorming, and he's like, let's call it Hollywood, you know? And I was like, all right. So I did Hollywood Surf Supply for 6 or 7 years, but now he's had a couple kids and everyone sort of lost interest. So I decided to bring Soul Life back. And the response has been epic. Like, and I got the logo smaller so it doesn't like trip me out so much.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be a big logo, 90s logo, you know?
Yeah. Well, the
So
Hollywood one's pretty big. I remember I grabbed that. It was your board, I think,
right.
from your
A
rack
20
down there in the Northern Rivers, that twin pin.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved it. And
Yeah.
then,
Those things are nuts.
yeah, they're really good. And then I got a custom one of yours, of that
Yeah.
same. I still like your one, though. I don't know why. They're the same,
seems
but
to have,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It tends to, yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe I think whenever you get a Shaper's personal board, there might be a little bit extra oomph in that thing.
Yeah, a
You
bit of
know, plus, like,
magic.
you know, I pretty much make all kinds of boards for myself because, like, as you would know nowadays, it's not 510 thrusters anymore. It's like, you know, and my average customer age, I still shape a lot of Grom boards, but most everyone's like over 35. So people are appreciating performance with volume, but people don't want slugs. So you have to really dial them in, you know.
Mm.
And the 20s are quite lively, like that 4-channel twin pin you spoke of.
Mhm.
There's a guy, Jimmy, that gets boards off me in Ballina, and he's quite a ripper, you know. And he ordered a couple of them, and I go, where you go? And he's like, I'm not supposed to name, but outer islands in Indonesia, like pretty heavy area, like wave wise.
Okay.
And he's been sending me back like 10-shot sequences of deep backside barrels and all this stuff on twin fins. Like I never would have. I mean, I know they hold in and the design is good, but he's pushed them, and I'm like, I think he was surfing better than if I had shaped him my best thruster.
Wow, that's
It's just
crazy.
bizarre because
Yeah,
you think of twin fins, you think of grovel, you know.
yeah.
You don't think of like barrels and like 12 o'clock verts, you know what I mean? Especially
Well,
back.
yeah, well, there's back to again to uh we were just talking about him. Oh God, my brain's gone this morning, Scott. We were just talking about him.
Too
Kersey.
much Sunshine Coast
Yeah, no,
sun.
Kersey. He's taken it to the level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
you know, yeah, for sure.
What
But
he's doing is rad. Like I'm stoked. I mean, I think because I mean he's wealthy and stuff. He's not doing it for the money, so he's doing it for himself, you know.
mm,
And it's interesting because the first time he went on tour, he was kind of like from Coolangatta and needed to make it, you know. And he's
mm,
already made it.
mm,
And he pretty much went on the tour to help his daughter, Sierra, like to get daughter and dad going on tour. And he's
yeah,
I'm here anyway. I'll surf events.
yeah, yeah,
All of a sudden he's on the Challenger, you know. And
yeah,
who knows? It
yeah.
could end up on the CT with a twin fin.
Right.
I
Okay.
don't know that. I mean, as from the judges, I don't know if they're ready for it. You know, they're so like. I mean, I don't know. For me, like I love watching the surfing at the highest level. We all know the guys on tour are the best surfers or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also love watching Asher Pacey do crazy ass turns, big guy twin fin, small board. And I mean, there's a bunch of other surfers who I feel are equally as talented as anyone on the CT that you never really get to see.
Yeah.
And they'll never get there because it's a thruster tour.
Right. Yeah. That's
So
true.
we'll see, you know, maybe this will change it. It doesn't
Yeah.
say in the rule book, but you know, you can see that
Yeah.
guys don't take chances, you know, when they
That's
get
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's strange
Uh,
times.
yeah. Life in Hawaii is pretty good for you, as you say, health wise and everything like that. A bunch of different styles of waves that you could dial in with your shapes of the boards too over there, I'm
Yeah.
guessing too.
No, yeah, it's epic. I mean,
Mm.
and I'm making boards for like there's like a sort of younger generation that I've met through my work in Honolulu that are like, you know, they're not like I was when I was a kid. All I wanted to do was compete and stuff like that. They don't even care. They want to ride a mid length. They want to ride a longboard. They want to ride a twin fin. And
Yeah.
they're pushing those designs for me, which is great. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a real creative moment for me. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you have a shaping career of 25 years or whatever, and
Yeah.
you have like those moments, you know, and it's like for me, it's like or those, I should say, spaces of time, gaps of time. And
Right.
like right now for me, it's just epic, you know, like I know when we're done here, we're moving back to we're around where you are. That's our plan. But for me to like just go from Ballina to the sunny coast and not have this just injection of inspiration and creativity You know, especially I'm in my late 50s, you know, like I want to be fresh for the next 10 years. I don't want to just feel like I'm going through the motions, you know? And
Yeah.
that's kind of what it's all about, really, you know?
Yeah. Have you seen a lot of evolution through your eyes with the surfboard shaping, as in, you've been doing it for quite a while. Um, there's quite a different lot of craft out there available to surf. Like you just
Yeah.
mentioned, lengths, there's the twins. Everyone's going into those fish styles, which, okay. I'm not, they're good, but I personally not a fan. I like a little bit of length and rail in my
Yeah.
boards, sort of a little hold better in my turns instead of that quick little
Mhm.
short little whack around things. But a lot has gone into development with materials being lighter and stronger. I've noticed with some of your boards, particularly the ones I saw in Brazil that you were shaping down there, they had
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
carbon style or what they were something.
Those were all stringerless EPS
Right.
with 2 pound EPS, which is EPS foam, which is different than the poly foam that all the guys are on tour.
Yep.
And then because the foam's so light, you could do a lot more cloth work with it and carbon work with it. And the board still comes out 5 pounds or less. I'm not sure what that is in kilos, but 5 pounds is kind of the benchmark for a truly light, sort of pro light surfboard. If it's
Yeah.
5 pounds or less, you know what I mean? It's at that level. It's not for the guy that just dropped $1,000 and wants to keep it for 2 years though,
Right.
because they dent and everything. But the epoxy ones come in at that lightness, but they have the strength. You know, I can put a 6'4" glass on the deck, 6 on the bottom. We use a 30 millimeter unidirectional carbon tape for a stringer, essentially. No stringer all the way through the blank. What that does is stop the sort of reverb, the wobbly thing you get when you don't have a stringer, and it gives it memory, so it comes back to somewhere every time. Because every time they flex quite a bit. I'm not talking about the carbon around the rails like the Hayden style, but it's the carbon strip up the middle.
Right.
Boards, that's the good thing, but they flex and come back and flex and come back, so you get a lot of life out of that. The
Yeah.
only drawback is, especially here in Hawaii with those materials, is the wind. Because a lot of the breaks are way out. Like I always am paddling, hundreds and hundreds of meters to get into where the breaks are.
Yep.
Paddling is great. Like that means you don't have wind blocks. It's not like you're tucked in behind snapper rocks or wherever, burley heads with all, so you have blustery winds. Even if it's a good wind, they definitely get lifted up. So it's harder to catch waves on when it's windy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the wave pools, the buoyancy, the ease of paddle. I mean, the designs are different because you can't make a bulky rail on one of those because it'll be too corky. So you have to like make a more sexy rail. Still have the foam in the middle, but you need to get bite because they want to sit high. Right. So the designs are a little bit different in this and that. But for this whole wave pool thing that's going off, I mean, wrap carbon around nose and tail, like full sandwich all the way around, because it's all cement. The boards are banging off the side, the boards are banging off the bottom. Fin, like I only use future fin boxes because I'm a believer. I like having the fin in the board all the way, but you don't want to crack those things. So we're having to we butterfly them, like a butterfly patch that covers the whole fin cluster. So it holds that all together. And when you're using I call it CEPX, carbon EPS construction, when you're using that, you can get away with the board. They feel balanced. Like when you pick them up, it's not like there's some extra glass in the rail and the tail and the nose, but it doesn't have that, like when you have let's say going back to those old school twin fins and you have glass on twin fins, they're all tail heavy, like you hold it, you can go, oh, they're all fully balanced because they need to be, because those wave pool waves are quick, and everything needs to be, and it has to be lively, and that, man, there's so many of those things opening up in the mainland United States right now. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of wave pools popping up.
Yeah, there is. That one of the Slater pool over in
that's the best, but I guess you have to be a 1%er to get in there. I can't get in there.
Yeah, well, you can pay, can't you? But it's quite
you know what it is for a day?
Yeah.
You can go to a wave garden pool. Like, have you seen the one in Edinburgh and in I think it's Wales or Scotland? Those guys are getting pipes, right? I mean, the water's not that warm, but they're getting pipes, and it costs you 70 pounds, which is probably about $100 for an hour, and you're going to get 15 waves, and you're going to do that in an hour. The Slater pool, there's only a wave like every 8 minutes because the pool has to totally flatten before they bring another one. Yes, the wave looks better than, like, as good as the best waves are getting at J-Bay right now. So I would love to surf it. I'm not bagging it, but economically, It's a tough one, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's 55 grand US to rent the park for a day, and then you get a bunch of guys that chip on it.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's US. That's like 80K, 90K Australian
We'll have to
for a
start.
day.
Yeah, no, we'll have to
Everyone's
start.
putting like, I think it's between 3,500 and 5 grand a piece. Because I have friends that do it, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll probably do it one day,
Mm.
but the opportunity hasn't aroused.
Yeah, my mate Sean, they were over at the one in California out at the ranch over,
Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
yeah, the 4th of July. And yeah, Sean caught this really nice wave and he fully backdoored it and he doesn't surf
Slater,
all.
Sean
Yeah,
Slater.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sean.
he can surf,
Doesn't,
that guy.
yeah, but he doesn't surf at home, you know. It's
Yeah, I know.
then all of a sudden he's on that thing. Like
He lives
obviously
at Cocoa
nice
Beach though.
shaped wave, and he's just come in, backdoored it, and the chandelier right over, come out, little whack at the end. I went, fucking hell, he still surfs.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a whole bunch of crew from Northern California that are like close to my age. There's this
Mm.
guy Kelly Sorensen and has an on the beach surf shop in Monterey, and he
Right.
organizes a big like, shop's old. It's been there like 25, 30 years, and he organizes all like reps and all the sales reps and like a bunch of guys I know from Santa Cruz, and they all chip in and they go down there.
Mm.
Like he does it like twice a year. I mean, they have a great time. I mean, and like really, you know, I've been to Jeffreys Bay. I've surfed it for a month. And if I got 2 or 3 waves in a day like that, I was like counting my lucky stars because it's hectic out there crowd wise and stuff. You know, South Africans are gnarly in the water, you know,
Yeah.
just the locals. And
Yeah.
you know you're going to get one there. You know
Yeah.
you're going to get probably 4 or 5. And the wave goes so far, you know, like even like some of my friends are really good surfers. And they're like, man, my legs were wobbling at the end of that thing. Like the waves, you're on the wave, I believe, for over a minute. And it's full speed the whole way, you know?
Yeah, that point from outside, it just wraps all the way through. There's like 7 or 8 different
Yeah,
takeoff.
and you don't even see Kelly, and who's obviously has the most wired of anyone. He built the bloody thing. You never really see him roundhouse. He's going full speed the whole. He does. They all do big top hacks, a little bit of fin release, but it's all driving down, continuously driving. You know, probably because the wave's so expensive, you don't want to fall off.
Well, no, you know, there's a grand Jesus.
Yeah, picture like if you do a turn, picture if you eat it on takeoff, you'd be so bummed, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, that was like 800 right there.
Mm.
You know.
So you're based in, it's on the South Shore there in Waikiki. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to surf the bowl a lot.
Yeah, I'm right across the street is Fort Ducey Park, which is right behind the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which is home of the reef from the Kaiser Bowl to Ala Moana Bowls and all the stuff in between it.
Mm.
So I surf around those sections in there, and also in front of Ala Moana Mall, there's Ala Moana Beach Park, and there's a bunch of fun waves in there. That's more of like a truly local area. Like you can park for free on Sundays. It's all barbecues and you know
Nice.
local Hawaiian music, and I actually prefer surfing over there more. But this is so close. I run out here for earlys and lates all the time.
Okay. So I surf not the bowl, but going back towards Waikiki, there was a right-hander there.
Yeah, that's probably Kaiser's.
Yeah, okay. There, that was
Yeah.
fun. There was a few esky or bodyboarders out there,
Yeah,
but
they rule it.
a few Japanese. But you just wait and some nice, good head high overhead, and it was so fun. It was so
It's a
fun.
bull. It's always coming back around at you. So you don't ever you feel like you're going really fast, but you're never going to outrace the wave because you'll be out the channel. So every time you get speed, you just wrap it around. It's super fun.
Yeah, I
And
like
it's pretty far out. And there's like the turtles are always popping up and stuff. It's pretty
Yeah, I
magic.
paddled out. I just walked up along the beach and then just paddled out pretty much in front. I was just watching because I wasn't familiar with the area, so I was just doing it on my own, and I was just watching those catamarans that go out and do a little
Yeah.
snorkel tour. So and they sort of go out through that channel area. Yeah,
Yeah, they're right there. Yeah. It always seems to be a set when they go through. It's weird. And the Surfline Cam
Yes.
comes. I do a lot of my R&D on my own surfing and my boards from Surfline Cams because they have one at Kaiser that looks right in on it. Yes, it's not super close like if you had a pro filmer, but I don't have a pro filmer, and I can come in and I'll go. I remember that wave around 11:15. That was kind of a cracker, you know. And you come back and you do the Surfline rewind and you can watch it over and over. And then sometimes you go. I think the one at noon was better, and then you watch it at noon and it was actually you look like a kook on it. You're like, oh wow, okay, you know, like because sometimes what you think you know. When you see yourself on film, sometimes you're like surprised good, and sometimes you're surprised the other way. You know, oh, kind of bogged on that one, but it's unreal. I have them over at Ala Moana Beach Park too at the spots I surf. So I mean, but sometimes I'll have a shocker and I won't even look at the cams. I go home, I'm like, not looking,
I've,
no clips, you know.
I use a lot here at home on the Sunshine Coast. Most of them are, and pretty much along the East Coast, particularly Gold Coast or high rise and looking down. So you
Yeah,
do
that's what we have here.
you, but I use the Sessions app on my Apple Watch, and I go out
Yeah.
and sort of times you la la la. But I think, geez, that was a really good wave. I love that one. And when I go back to watch, I go, far out. I look like a freaking kook.
Yeah, I mean that happens, and it happens the other way too. Sometimes you go,
Yeah.
I had one all right snap. I'll just look at that one at 11:50, and you're like, oh, big old fan or whatever. But I don't wear watches, so I can't do that. I hardly ever know what time it is. A lot of
Right.
times, I'll when I get a good one, if no one's looking, I'm in the channel. I'll flick a bunch of water up in the air because when I'm rewinding it at like 8 times, I'll see the water and I'll stop,
Oh, that's a good point.
and then I go back, put it back on one time, and oh, there it is. You know, but
Mm.
you don't want anyone seeing you doing that because then they know. Because I am in Hawaii. There's locals and stuff. You don't want to be, you know, I'm definitely the Howley, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
You
is
said
fine.
you said you're managing the TNC shop there, did you say?
Yeah, I'm a manager. It's a huge, it's their flagship store. It's like
Oh,
it's a mega store. Like I didn't even know surf stores like, you know, were that strong.
is that
Like
in
it's
the
crazy
outlet
numbers.
plaza place, or is that in that
No,
outlet?
no, it's in Ala Moana Mall. It's like
Right.
upstairs Ala Moana Mall. It's right across from Ala Moana Beach Park and
Oh
Bowls.
yeah,
Like
that's the one that has all the levels, right? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's the
what I
largest
thought.
outdoor mall in the world, like open air.
Yeah.
And like we're up there with Local Motion and HIC and all those guys. But that, I mean, TNC is like so established, you know, 55 years, I think. And the
Mm.
Sukaharas that own it are still like Craig Sukahara, the dad. I mean, he's aged out, he's retired, but his son Ryan runs it, and Ryan rips like he's totally legit. I surf with him out at beach parks quite a bit.
Mhm.
And but I mean, they're smart. Like they do a lot of collaborations. Like, we sell so many freaking water bottles, it's insane. You know,
Water bottles.
Yeti,
Oh yes.
yeah, water bottle, red. No, no, not plastic, like proper
Yep.
Yetis and Hydro Flask, and there's a few other brands in there. But he's smart. He works collaborations with them, and they put on all this really cool town and country art on the bottles. So it's not you're not just getting a lime green bottle or a blue bottle. They've got all like a lot of the art from our T-shirts and stuff like that, and so it's special. And we have a
Mm.
Yeti store 4 doors down, and people always come to ours to get Yetis because
Wow.
Yeti doesn't have our collab stuff. And he does the same thing. There's a thing called Aloha Collection here. It's like a big bag company that's like trending super, super hot. Like I don't really get it because it's ladies' bags. I don't, but we do a collection with them.
You didn't take one to Ireland with you?
I would have been popular. Oh my God. Anyway, like that stuff blows out, you know, and he's smart enough. He's always doing collabs because we have
Yeah.
5 stores on the island and a factory in Wahiawa. So
Wow, crazy.
it's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm learning a lot.
Mm.
Kind of everything I'm doing, I really feel like it's setting me up for my next thing, really. You know, I'm just getting all this background and I'm rebuilding my surfboard brand, and it's going good. And I'm establishing really good manufacturing bases
Mm.
around so I can still do that fly thing, you know? And yeah, it's a good time right now. I'm stoked.
Yeah, true. And so you mentioned, because I remember when we were talking last, you were thinking of moving up around that Agnes area.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a little too remote for us because my wife and I still need to do work, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're probably, I don't know, probably somewhere between where you're at and Noosa along that stretch, Coolamish maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe even lower, maybe down Moffat. I don't know. It depends because my wife's a nurse and there's a
Right.
lot of nursing down in the southern end of your guys' thing.
Yeah, sure.
Around Britannia or whatever it is, Britannia.
Virginia, yeah, at the SKU, Sunshine Coast University Hospital.
Yeah. And there's a public and a private there. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for her there. So,
Oh yeah, they're screaming for staff.
yeah. And we got grandkids and stuff on down in Ballina and that. But we're like, when we move back, we're going to go up there. We're not going to go back to this for now. Who knows?
Yeah.
But because, you know, we'll end up in Australia. And when the time's right, that's right now, that's where we're planning on going.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah, I still go back and shape on the Gold Coast and stuff.
yeah.
I was there probably 6 weeks ago, and I have
Oh.
another trip coming up really soon. So,
Yeah.
but I have a friend that works for an airline here, so I've been on his benefits for a long time. So it doesn't cost me much to fly around.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, because you don't make much making surfboards. But
No.
if you spend it on people, you must be making so much because I fly everywhere. But my flights are like I think Tuster, it's like $130 or something, so it's not too bad. Yeah,
Geez,
Europe's like $5.
you're lucky you got that. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's one of my best friends. And it's classic. He's living in Boston. He's like my age, has a 4-year-old daughter. So he's got his hands full, but he was always kind of a party surf partner of mine that we surfed all over Indonesia together back in the 90s and stuff. And so it's cool,
yeah,
and I'm thankful for it for sure.
sure. Are you shaping any of your boards for Town and Country too with their label or no?
I'm not doing any stuff with them. I sell their stuff, but I'm not working in their factory or anything. I've kept it separate. I just work with Richie in that, and it just works out better. And originally I was going to be kind of managing their warehouse factory, and that was probably going to lead to that. But then it just worked out better for me to stay in the retail and stay down here.
All right.
And I go in the winter, I go to the North Shore twice a week, shape and surf on my days off here. And then in the summer, the surf's all right here. Yeah. Like I ride bicycles. I don't even fire the car up for weeks on end.
Wow.
Because I can ride to work. I ride to all these surf spots. And that's good for my health too, The only problem with Honolulu is it's a pretty gnarly city. It's got some issues, big city issues. But the food's great, the surf's good, and the weather's good.
They got that bloody train thing working yet? No.
It's sort of like your Gold Coast train. It's like what? It goes between Pearl City Mall and like somewhere out the back. It doesn't even go to the airport or anything. Like 20 million later or whatever, probably billion, who knows?
Billion, maybe. Yeah.
It's a dinosaur. Yeah. People aren't stoked on it.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of homeless and stuff, which is kind of gnarly. But it's kind of that's why I don't think I'll be here forever, because it's almost, I feel like it's making me a little bit cold, because I've always been very empathetic with people and stuff, and you kind of can't really engage in everyone, because a lot of them are on fucked up drugs and stuff, and it's almost like that zombie thing they told me about when I was a kid. It's here.
Really?
Yeah, it's a shame. But
it is a shame. You think in this day and age, everyone would be housed, and I'm like blessed with our country, with our situation, as you would know, with the Medicare and all of that sort of thing. But
Australia is beautiful for that. It's really, it is a lucky country. Yeah. Like the more I travel around the world, I'm like, Australia's definitely like, I knew even when I left this time, I've been there for a long time, this last jaunt, and I was like, I know that I'll be back, and that's when I go back, I'm going to stay back. I'm going to retire there, and that's where I'll be the rest of my life.
Lovely. Good.
I just needed to do this like not fling, but a creative jolts, and go like, there's a lot of relationships. Australia's a long ways away from everywhere. It's like you're on Mars, except for Indonesia, like to get to Europe, it's days and days and days, even coming, like going to the East Coast where you're going, you got to fly to LA and then across another flight. I flew to England 3 weeks ago, and I flew Honolulu on Hawaiian direct to JFK, New York, 11-hour flight. Got stuck with a 10-hour layover, to 7 hours to Dublin, 2 hours there, quick morning Guinness, and then flew up to Newquay, which is easy 2-hour flight. And then got there, and then it was, all my friends were like, "Hey, you're here." And I was like, my eyes were down like that, and I was just beat up, It's hard. And then from Australia, you can add another 12 hours on that.
Yeah, that's it. I think I got a 21-hour flight with like a 3-hour layover in Dallas.
Yeah, you're lucky. That's not too bad, really, to get out. And Outer Banks are way out. Is that for that trip?
Yeah, I'll be in the Big Smoke in the Big Apple for a few days, catch up with some friends over there, and do that on my own, and then fly down to it is what's the airport?
Raleigh?
Pardon? Yep, Norfolk. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Norfolk, and then down.
Yeah, and then we catch a little like a 90-minute drive to Kitty Hawk. Yeah.
East Coast is awesome. Way back when we're talking about at the beginning of this conversation about competing and stuff, back when I was like pro surfer guy, you were aged out at 28. There was no 54-year-old Slater or anything like that, or people in their 40s and that. Now it's kind of people, because you probably do your best surfing mid-30s, really, when you think about it, because you've mastered the scariness of ledges and all that stuff. But anyway, so I was at 28. I didn't know what I was doing, and there was this guy, a legendary WSL judge or ASB judge, Peter Dooley, who owned a surfboard company called Natural Art. I know. And they were huge on the East Coast. They sponsored Richard Cram. Shane Aran had Pro Shapes through Ricky Carroll back there. Like, they were international, but it was an East Coast company. And he wrote a very great personality, great legend guy. He would drive up the East Coast from Cocoa Beach, where their factory was, and had shops all the way out to Montauk, the top of New York, or in the middle of New
Oh,
York.
yeah.
And he had shops all through there, right? And he was like, he was sponsoring me for boards and had little bit of sponsorship, proper sponsorship at the time. And he's like, well, why don't you come back and do my board runs, you know? And I was like, well, good way to see the East Coast. So I think I did maybe 4 or 5 of them one year. And the problem was I didn't get enough surf. So and everywhere you went, you like bought a case of beer and stuff like that. So I kind of became a beer drinker instead of a surfer. So I didn't do it. Pete knew, he goes, you should go to Hawaii for a while. That was way back. I'm like, okay, cool. But you go to all these different places and there's all these core little surf communities all the way up. Outer Banks is where you're going, Kitty Hawk. I would go to after I went to New York, sold all the boards. He loaded me up with like 70 something boards in the truck. And then sometimes I'd bring a trailer up to South Carolina with another 50. That's like over 100 boards, you know? And he had it dialed. It was before internet banking and all that. You go in, the shop would say they carry 10 boards and they've got 4 holes in the racks. You come in, I go, what do you need? And they go, oh, 510 squash tail, blah, blah, blah. You put them out, they pick their 4, and then you go, all right, I'll trade out those 2. They've been here for a couple months. So they get 2 more. Those are straight trades. They'd write me a check for the 4 or 5 that they bought. And then Pete would have me go straight to the post office. Next day, mail them, check's gone. Cost him an extra $15, but he got the money the next day. And then he was like, go out to the Outer Banks and surf for a couple of days because, you know, he's paying for gas and, you know, all your expenses. And it was so freaking fun, you know. And it's a shame that, like, that's not something that I know there's a few companies that do something similar, but it's like that was a thing, you know. And that was, and you come into all these towns, all the natural art guys are here, you know. And half the time he'd bring up 2 or 3 of his pro surfer guys in the truck. We'd throw a couple barbecues on up at New York at Hamptons in New York, and you know, all the New Jersey, huge surfing population in New Jersey, and it was, and they get cracking waves in New Jersey too. But yeah, that was just, you know, I'm stoked that I was able to experience all that because all that surf culture is still in this body, you know. Just because we're getting mass produced stuff doesn't mean it has to be that way. You know?
No, yeah, it does lose the actual soul of it all in some ways. But there's a lot of core underground shapers. One friend of mine, you know, out of Island Surfboards, Mitchell Ray.
Yeah,
You know, he was inducted to the board builders
Hall of Fame.
exactly in California almost a couple of years ago. And that's nice recognition. And it's board built, you know, because
and he's always been him, for example, he's always been known for his flex tails, which was something that is very niche, very unique, you know what I mean? But super creative. And you know, he didn't just pop out 510 thrusters. The only thing that worries me about is the way we are now, all the creative young guys that are coming out, shaping and stuff, they tend to get grabbed by the JSs and Al Merricks to be their ghost guys. Right. And then they just go away because now they have a set, whatever they make, they know they're going to do it, certain amount of boards, and they don't have to hustle. And then that pulls that whole creativity on what could have come from that shaper.
Yeah.
Shapers, you know what I mean? Because they get formed and because I've ghost shaped for a lot of major brands. And when you do a ton of boards, you end up sort of being the hands, which you're supposed to be, for whoever the guy is in Australia or California or wherever. And it saps your own creativity because you almost become robotic, making exactly what they want, which is what you're hired for. But it's, I don't know. I don't know. That's why I try to do almost everything custom because you just don't you can do whatever you want. There is a lot of creative guys, but it seems like all the young guys just go the easy route of making really retro-y twin fins and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're going to work for anyone. They're thick and flat, you know. They're going to go down the line and make a wave. You know, not too many guys are experimenting with flex tails and things like that, you know. But
it's basically, you're right. It's just your basic rounded pin, square swallow, single to double concave. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
the only thing that, you know, going back to the thing, you know what trips me out though when I go home to Australia is I'll be surfing North Wall or up at D-Bar or whatever, and I'm seeing Al Merricks and Mayhems go by all day. And I'm like, fuck, we have so many legend shapers here. Why are you guys riding Al Merrick? I mean, Al Merrick, nothing against Al Merrick or Lost or whatever. But are you kidding me? Even our major brands are insane. Your DHs, JSs, all that stuff. And then you have this huge pool of creatives I mean, there's got to be 15, 20 excellent shapers just in Coolangatta.
Yeah.
Why are we getting licensed boards from sheep factories,
Yeah.
from California? I just don't understand that.
Mm.
I've never understood that.
Same in Indo.
And
You go to
sometimes
there.
you'll see more lost than you'll see a DHs at D-Bah, and you're like, DH is from D-Bah, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
I don't know. I'd like to see something, somehow something's got to change there.
Yeah.
Maybe that business model will fail and we can go back to being normal surfers again and ride guys down the road board and stuff,
Who knows? Yeah, might just do a complete circle and yeah, start all over again. You never know.
You never know with all this retail stuff going on with all the stores. It didn't happen in Australia, but North America, all the stores shut. Like here in Honolulu, we had from TNC where I work, we had a Volcom store straight across, gone. All in 1 or 2 months when all that North America, whatever the brand that had the retail went out of business, the venture capital guys. And then downtown, we had huge in Waikiki, a huge Quicksilver store, Roxy stores, Ruka stores, all these things. 1 month, all shut.
Wow.
I rode my bike down there a couple days ago in an evening bike ride. I couldn't even tell where they were. Like some that's new stuff had come in, not surf, and all this stuff's in there. I'm just like 6 months ago, this was like Surf City,
Yeah.
and there's still the brakes are packed, but
yeah,
it's time for change.
Yeah, retail. Yeah, because Volcom, yeah, they went under under the board riders thing, Quicksilver, Billabong, Surf Dive, and
And that imploded. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I think it's a different group that's got it now in Australia. So I know they haven't closed all their stores and stuff, but
Yeah.
whoever did it here, United States, did not do a good job.
Yeah, no, the Volcom stores are still here. It's
Yeah.
but they're under that one big company now. I was talking to one of the managers there at one of the store here at the plaza. Instinct, you did a little bit of collaboration there with a replica of Sean Thompson's board there for our Sunny.
That was fun.
Yeah, you did quite a few of them, or was it?
Just a couple different. We did a few with the original mob, and then we did I forgot the model. It's like a pipeline or something like that. Like because I met with Sean, had a nice afternoon with him, talked boards and stuff. He's very articulate, and his memory is really good. But time periods kind of run in, because he's not new, right? And but his brain, he's like so into his speaking, and like he's an amazing human being, a truly amazing human being. But it was like it's just concaves, and da 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 da. We were the first guys doing concaves, me and Spider Murphy. It was just really head filling, But I was fortunate that I was able to work with someone that had done one of his files for a board over there in Ventura that he had worked with, and they sent me the file, which is a CNC design over here, and then I cleaned it up a little bit, made it more sexy, really. Sent it back to him. He okayed it, and we made the group of boards in Byron Bay, and they came out great,
Yeah.
But I am not. He's traveling around mixing Instinct with his speaking, so he's it's like a positive ethos sort of brand. He's not just mass producing stuff, which is pretty cool. I really hope it gets traction. It's kind of hard to gauge from here, from Hawaii, because we don't see it here. I haven't seen any Instinct here, but I know they're getting shops around the United States, the mainland. So, I mean, more power to them. I think it's great. And the stuff's good. I've got some stuff.
Yeah.
And I love wearing. And I have a Sean Thompson hat, the classic logo I wear everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I dig it. And it was for me. He was the generation before me, but like when I went on tour of Joey Brand, I traveled with Joey Brand when I was a kid. And Joey was just the younger group of that generation. And like I met all those guys, And I remember going to Japan one time and I only had like 4 boards in my board bag. And Sean's all, Brew, you take a couple boards for us, Brew, I was like, so I took boards of his way back. He probably didn't even remember. But I brought boards for him over to Japan, and like it was rad. Like, because that was all the surf movie things that we saw when we were kids,
Yeah, sure.
And, to meet with them and stuff it's pretty cool,
I watch all those old surfs because I like surfing a mid-length most of the time up on the sunny coast because it's the waves are really suitable for that here, points and beaches. And I sort of go back to those old school movies just to watch what their old single fins, like they're not the same board, but just to get that speed and flow and how they work, the trajectory of that, because it's almost a similar kind of ride. And
Yeah.
obviously it's not pumping Sunset or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. No, but the way you get them going, those
yeah,
guys are masters of it.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
when the mid lane thing came in about 6 years ago, I was living in Lennox, and I remember I made myself like a 610 small swallow. The outline was very similar to back in the day, but it had sexier rails, a little different curve and stuff like that. And I was like, I had some magic surfs on that thing, but I had to like, it's a single fin. You don't just go to the bottom, claw the fins in and thrust as hard as you can and go up and smack the lip. You got to like trim and get speed before you have to have speed to do maneuvers, you know? And the only way to, you don't get speed by going straight down, straight up on those. You got to like almost ankle surf them a little bit, you know? And then you have speed and you can bang them and everything else.
yeah.
And it's great to, you know, it's good for your brain to come out of that fixed, you know, thruster thing for me.
True.
It's the same with the 20s, really, because you can't, you know, they're like the same, you know, like they're faster and squirrelier than those single fins, but you still have to surf them that way. You have to trim them. You know, it's not all foot on the tail. I don't put tail pads on anything over like 6'3", because I don't want to be going, oh my God, where's my foot? Waves over. You know, I don't care where my foot is. If it all feels good, you know, and plus you can see where your dents are. So you can like work out, oh, I'm standing over the fins, or I'm way back on this board or whatever, you know, which
I have the trouble of, I get on the thruster, I'm surfing that for ages, and I'll grab the 20 out today. Get on the 20, first wave, failure, back foot onto the tail. I just go, damn it.
Right.
So used to having it at the back, obviously with the fin at the back, right?
Yeah.
It's always that little foot forward of the fin on the 20 to get it going.
Yeah, you got to ride them over those front. Yeah, that's set. Yeah, or you're
like it's
gonna push them out. Yeah, man. Yeah, but it's fun. I love it. And I mean, those 4-channel twin pins are like a lot more versatile in wave types. The wave racer when I ride is I really ride it for waist high and smaller with no power, and I can go really fast, which makes me feel good. Like I was out of concessions about a week ago, and it was like low tide, super sketchy, like urchin stuff, and maybe waist high, really not even enough push on my thruster to even. And I went out and I got a couple, and I was going super fast, and there's a little left that comes off another spot at the end of the wave you can bang. And I was getting these waves, and also all these guys paddle out. These two dudes look at me and go, "You brought the crowd." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You're surfing too fucking fast." And I was like, for me, that was a compliment. I kind of sheepishly, but they were like, you know, because most people on their thrusters are struggling in those waves, you know, because you just can't, you know. And for now, like my main thruster is this one over my shoulder here. It's called a Blacks model. It's actually my motivation for that board came from John surfing Margaret River about 5 years ago when he was first riding his Ghost model board from Paizel, and he was just doing these snowboard arcs, and I went and chucked it out, and the wide point was like 1.5 inches ahead of center, all the stuff that's not normal thruster, you know. And with that 1.5 inches of center, the tail rocker started farther up at that pivot spot, so your nose is short, wider, but the nose rocker shorter. And it was really, at first I kind of struggled because I'm kind of back footish, but I got super used to it, and I started getting a lot of momentum out of it. But now I find the best attribute is like it's a thruster you can go to without too much struggle from your wider point forward twin fins and stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas if I go from my wave racer twin and jump on a high performance thruster with the wide point center or a little bit back, I'm like, I can't go anywhere. Whereas I jump on my Blacks and they're still, you know, they're not twitchy at all. You don't pop or anything like that. No. So that's why I like, but my Black starts at like 6'2.5", 6'3", where my 20s, my wave racers are 5'9"-ish, and my 4-channel round pin twins are like 6'0", 6'1". So my thrusters don't even start until like chest high waves for me.
Okay.
I don't touch them until there's power.
For those that are interested, you said you're building a new website. And then are they able to contact you ahead of that if they will?
Yeah, well, it'll be built in a week. But my main thing is my Instagram, Crump Shapes. Okay. Just Crump Shapes. And then I also, I mean, I'm older and I love Facebook still. And you'd be surprised how many, like young kids are like, what's Facebook? I get a lot of orders off Facebook, you know. I have just my personal one, which is just random stuff, but I have a Crump Shapes one there too. And some stuff's more Facebookish, longer winded board descriptions, model design, stuff like that. And then Instagram's mostly stuff because it's shorter time spend. People don't spend more than 30 seconds on your thing, you know?
Well,
Whereas
podcast.
Facebook, if you're diving into Facebook, you're going to spend some time in there.
Yeah.
Instagram's like
Yeah.
scroll.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we'll podcasters will put in the links at the end of the podcast here so you can check out Scott's shapes, and he can alert you over the social media when the website is up. Soul Life, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's gonna be Soul Life. Soul Life or Soul Life Surfboards, one or the other, depending on. I haven't like nailed that domain yet, but it's probably Soul Life Surfboards, I would think.
Yeah.
And then and it's going to be just a real rootsy, authentic. I'm not coming out with a big flashy side because I'm a one man show really. It's my wife and I. I have like 4 different manufacturing bases: Gold Coast, England, California, and hello. Gold Coast, England, California, and here in Hawaii. Hello, with Richie. And I'm not doing much in Brazil right now, just because they've changed all their visa requirements and everything. It's all changed right now, so it's a lot harder to do.
Oh, really?
It's a lot harder to do business in Brazil right now than it was 2 years ago. Yeah, they've changed all that.
Yeah.
Like visas were free. You could do go business visas. Now you have to pay like $400, and they're good for one time, and it's still iffy if you can really do business. So that's where I'm working around, and I'm doing my TNC thing, and then you'll be seeing me in Sunny Coast here probably in about a year and a half or so.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be looking forward to that.
Well, yeah, I'm stoked. And I'll get a little shaping room there with a little showroom, like we spoke about back in the day and stuff.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You got me hunting around for places there for a little bit.
Well, I've been looking because we weren't sure how soon we were going to move back,
Right.
But some things have just come together really good, like in the last week. So we're definitely here for a bit longer.
That's awesome. Great to hear.
Stuff I was working on, they kind of happen. You never know, I'm sure you're the same. You're working on half a dozen projects, and they're all just sort of going like this. All of a sudden one goes, and you're like, okay, I got to do that,
Yeah.
And that's what's happening now. Like with the Soul Life thing, I'm all into it 100%. So
my brain just never stops. It's like
crazy, it's a problem for me too.
Yeah, I need to get the missus to whack me over the head with a hammer at night.
Give you some brain damage. That's what a cold beer is for.
Well, Scott, mate, look, it's been a pleasure. Again, appreciate your time on the Weekend Waves podcast. This is our Shapers series. We'll have a couple of other Shapers coming up over the next few weeks as well. And
who do you got coming?
I have Mitchell Ray from Out Island.
Awesome.
And we were just speaking to him about him. Skeletor, Richie.
Yeah. Oh, is he going to be on it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Most likely when he gets down to Australia, because he's making a trip down there. He's getting some orders and making a bunch of boards.
I think he's going at the end of the month.
Pardon?
I think he's going at the end of the month.
Yeah, it's shortly.
2 more weeks to get boards through, and then because he rips them out for me in a few days.
Yeah.
So I think it's at the end of the month. He's going to go go from Bells all the way up to you guys or something like that.
Yeah, up to the Goldie. Yeah, that's his plan, I guess. I don't want to speak for him because obviously it's his thing, but he'll elaborate more. But most likely that we'll get together when he's down under. Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Chin wag and catch up. Won't be having a beer with him because he doesn't like one.
You think I talk a lot? Wait till you get him on. When I'm shaping at his place, I'm like, I'm going to shut the door.
Oh, really? Yeah, no,
yeah,
he's a great guy.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
we have a long history, so yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
All right, Spacey, thanks for that, Hapes.
Thanks, Scott.
I'll see you on my next trip. Take care of yourself.
And check, yeah, I will. Podcast is at the end of the episode. Brain fog again.
No worries. Send me the link.
To social media links for Scott Crump, the Crump Shapes, and look forward to your website coming up very soon. And also when you get back into Oz, mate, take care, and I'll speak with you again shortly, no doubt.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Aloha, mate.
Stay gold. Right on, brother.
You too, mate.
Later.